Conclusion, the road beyond the mirrors. The journey is not over because the last word has been spoken. It is over only when the lessons learned have been lived and when the light you carry is passed into the hands of another traveler. From flame to reflection. We began with a single spark, the first flame, the awakening of love in the human heart, fragile and new. We learned that love is not an accident, nor is it a single moment. It is a fire to be tended, stage by stage, with patience and awareness. We stood by the mirror in the water and learned that before we can meet another fully, we must meet ourselves. We walked to the 4 pillars of the union and saw that every lasting bond rests upon trust, communication, respect, and intimacy. We discovered that without this, even the most passionate love will eventually tremble. The echoes and the fires. In the sacred echo, we practice the art of deep listening, the courage to reflect on others' truth back to them without distortion. At fireside agreements, we sat in the glow of promises made and understood that boundaries and shared vision are not chains, but the framework of freedom. Storms, gardens, and calls. The storm and the anchor taught us that the measure of love is not how it feels in calm waters, but how it endures when waves rise. The garden of becoming reminded us that personal growth is not waiting for love to arrive. It is preparing the soul so that when love does arrive, it finds fertile ground. We stood at the call across the valley and felt the long patience of hope. We learned that silence is not always absence. Sometimes it is the quiet gathering of an answer. 2 lamps and a hall of mirrors. With the 2 lamps, we discovered the beauty of walking side by side without losing the strength to stand alone. And in the great mirror hall, we face the truth that every person we meet, every connection we hold is a mirror, and that the work of life is not to shatter them, but to understand what they reveal. The pattern beneath the stories. Though each chapter stands alone, there's a pattern beneath them all. It's the same pattern found in the hidden text of the Great V, in the songs of ancient wanderers, and in the prayers of those who have loved and lost. Know yourself. You cannot give what you do not possess, and you cannot share light if your lamp is empty. Choose with clarity. Attraction may open the door, but shared values keep it open. Build with intention. Love is not sustained by passion alone, but by the steady work of tending agreements, practicing care, and showing up when it is hardest. Walk through storms together. The strength of a bond is forged in trial, not in ease. Allow space for growth, both in yourself and in the other. A relationship is a living thing. It must be nourished individually and jointly. Face the reflections. Learn from the mirrors, both kind and cruel, and let them guide you toward becoming the person you wish to see reflected back. The value to carry forward. For singles, this series is a map for self-preparation. A reminder that love is not something you chase, but something you grow into readiness for. Your work is to tend your flame, cultivate your garden, and call across the valley with patience and precision. For couples, these chapters form a manual for sustaining depth, learning to walk with 2 lamps, building on the 4 pillars, repairing the roof while the sun still shines, and facing the mirrors together when storms have passed. For all, the core lesson remains: love is both cosmic and practical. It is the mystery of the stars and the discipline of tending the flame each day. The final charge. You have walked from the first spark to the hall of endless reflections. You have seen the patterns that weave through love's journey, the symbols that guide the way, and the truths that cannot be bargained with. Now, the work is not to remember these lessons in theory, but to live them. Light your lamp. Call across your valleys. Keep your anchor ready for the storms. Stand before your mirrors with courage. Because the road beyond the mirrors is not marked by signposts. It is marked by the light you carry and by the reflections you leave in those who walk beside you and those who will one day follow. The hall has no end, neither does love. Only the form changes, only the faces change, but the journey remains. And so, traveler, step forward. The next chapter is yours to write.